Hey everyone, welcome to 59 Topps Friday, presented by Wax Pack Wisdom, where we talk baseball history through the cards we love. My name is Jake T. O'Donnell. We built the iconic 1959 Topps baseball set, and in this series we're going through every card to talk about the players, teams, and people who made up Major League Baseball in 1959. Today we'll cover cards 202 through 209 in the set. Card number 202 belongs to Roger Maris of the Kansas City Athletics. 1959 was the third MLB season for Maris. He was born in Minnesota and spent his formative years in North Dakota. Maris attracted attention for his football acumen as a youth, but turned down scholarship opportunities to focus on baseball. The Indians signed him in 1953, and his power potential helped him rise through the minors ahead of his MLB debut in 1957. Midway through 1958, Maris was dealt to the Athletics. He hit 28 homers that year, but was still finding his way at the plate. Maris made his first AL All-Star team in 1959, smacking 16 home runs and uncovering some plate discipline with a .359 on-base percentage. The Yankees had taken an interest in Maris and acquired him in a large trade after the 1959 season to team him up with Mickey Mantle as a young anchor in their lineup. The results were immediate. In 1960, Maris smashed 39 homers and led the AL with 112 RBIs, earned a Gold Glove, was twice an All-Star, and won the AL MVP award. The Yankees suffered a crushing defeat in the 1960 World Series to the Pirates despite 2 homers from Maris. This was all a prelude to Maris's 1961 season, a year that will be remembered as long as baseball exists. Maris got off to a slow start power-wise, but that changed fast. From May 17th to June 22nd, Maris slugged 24 homers in 38 games. In total, Maris hit 15 homers in June, and media attention began to grow. Maris was on pace to possibly break Babe Ruth's 34-year-old record of 60 homers in a season. Maris did not handle the spotlight well. Reporters followed his every move, and he hid from the media after games. His hair started falling out in clumps, and he had trouble sleeping. Nonetheless, Maris kept hitting homers. He tied Ruth's record on September 26th, and on the final day of the season on October 1st, Maris deposited a fastball from Boston's Tracy Stallard into the right field stands at Yankee Stadium to break the record. Controversy surrounded the mark, as Maris had broken the record in a 162-game season, when Ruth's was set in 154. However, no asterisk was ever actually applied to Maris's final total. The Yankees went on to win the 1961 World Series, and Maris was again the league MVP. He followed up with a solid campaign in 1962, hitting 33 home runs and making the AL All-Star squad. But Maris was never quite the same player again. He missed nearly half of 1963 with injuries, and while he had a better 1964, his 1965 season was also dogged with injury. Maris thought about retiring after 1966, but he was traded to the Cardinals, where he would finish his career as a veteran presence on back-to-back NL pennant-winning clubs, including the 1967 World Champs. After his playing career, Maris owned a beer distributorship in Florida, and he established strong ties with both the Cardinals and the Yankees. His MLB home run record lasted for 37 years, and his AL home run record lasted until 2022. Card number 203 belongs to Ossie Virgil of the Detroit Tigers. Virgil did not play in MLB in 1959, but when he made his MLB debut with the Giants in 1956, he became the first Dominican-born player to appear in the majors in the post-integration era. In 1958, he also became the first player of color in Tigers franchise history. In total, Virgil appeared in parts of 9 MLB seasons, and in addition to the Giants and Tigers, he played for the Athletics, Orioles, and Pirates. Noted for his high baseball IQ, Virgil spent time as a player coach in the minors, and following his playing career, he was an MLB third base coach for a few years. He was elected to the Latino Baseball Hall of Fame in 2014. His son, Ozzie Jr., spent 11 years in the majors. As of this recording, Ozzie Virgil Sr. is 91 years old and will turn 92 later this month. Card number 204 belongs to Casey Wise of the Milwaukee Braves. 1959 was his third MLB season. Wise was a light-hitting backup infielder for parts of 4 seasons in the majors, hitting just 174 and 126 career games for the Braves, Cubs, and Tigers. Wise got 1 at-bat in the 1958 World Series loss for the Braves. After the end of his playing career, Wise went to school to study dentistry and became the first orthodontist in the city of Naples, Florida. He was also an avid deep-sea fisherman. Card number 205 belongs to Don Larsen of the New York Yankees. 1959 was his 7th year in the majors. Overall, Larsen had a solid but unspectacular 14-year MLB pitching career. Rarely was he a rotation mainstay for any team he was on. In fact, the only time he ever led the league in any significant pitching category was leading the AL in losses with the St. Louis Browns in 1953. Larsen pitched over 1,500 career MLB innings for the Browns, Yankees, Athletics, White Sox, Giants, Astros, Orioles, and Cubs, with a 3.78 ERA. But Larsen is remembered forever for what he did on the Yankee Stadium mound in Game 5 of the 1956 World Series against the Dodgers. The series was knotted at 2 games apiece, and Larsen was a surprise Game 5 starter for Casey Stengel. From the jump, Larsen had his best stuff and was mowing down Dodgers hitters left and right. He knew he was throwing a perfect game and attempted to no avail to engage superstitious teammates about what was happening. With 2 out in the 9th, pinch hitter Dale Mitchell was retired by Larsen on a check swing called strike for the 27th consecutive out of the game, and catcher Yogi Berra leaped into Larsen's arms. He had thrown the first no-hitter and to date the only perfect game in World Series history. The Yankees would win the World Series, and Larsen was MVP. He was part of the Yankees' 1958 championship team as well. Card number 206 belongs to Carl Furillo of the Los Angeles Dodgers. This was the 14th season in the majors for Furillo. The Pennsylvania native, nicknamed the Reading Rifle, Furillo is often overlooked by history because of the numerous Hall of Fame legends he played alongside during his 15-year career, all with the Dodgers. But Furillo was one of the critical members of the squad that won 7 NL pennants during his career and finally broke through with the franchise's first World Series championship in 1955. Furillo was twice an NL All-Star and won the 1953 league batting title with a .344 average. He garnered MVP votes 8 times in his career and finished 6th in voting in 1949 when he hit .322. Furillo was also an outstanding right fielder with a deadly throwing arm. He was the oldest member of the 1959 World Champion Dodgers, appearing in 4 World Series games that year. His career ended after 1960 and Furillo retreated from baseball. When author Roger Kahn tracked down Furillo for his book The Boys of Summer, the former star outfielder was installing elevators at the World Trade Center. He also was part owner of a delicatessen and worked as a security guard. Card number 207 belongs to George Strickland of the Cleveland Indians. 1959 was the 9th MLB season for Strickland. Signed out of New Orleans as a teenager, Strickland missed time in the minors serving in World War II. He wound up debuting with the Pirates in 1950 and was later traded to the Indians. Despite not hitting much, Strickland earned the trust of Hall of Fame manager Al Lopez and became the Indians' everyday shortstop thanks to his sure-handed defense. Strickland played a major role in the 111-win 1954 AL pennant-winning Indians team that eventually lost the World Series to the Giants. After the 1957 season, Strickland voluntarily retired and did not play in 1958. However, he asked to return in 1959 and stuck with the Indians through July 1960. Strickland was a coach and scout following his playing days and had 3 different stints as the interim manager for the Indians. Card number 208 belongs to Willie Jones of the Philadelphia Phillies. 1959 was the 13th MLB season for Jones. Spending all but 11 games of his 15-year career in the National League, Jones was the regular third baseman for the Phillies for most of the 1950s. A native of South Carolina, Jones earned himself a memorable nickname, Pudd'nhead, which originated from a popular song in the 1930s. He was an all-star in 1950 as a member of the Whiz Kids Phillies Club that won the NL pennant but lost in the World Series to the Yankees. Jones was an all-star again in 1951. He averaged 21 home runs a season from 1949 through 1953, all while playing strong defense at the hot corner. Jones's numbers dwindled thereafter, and in 1959, he was traded to the Indians. He only played 11 games there before he was sold to the Reds. Jones played there for parts of 1959, 1960, and 1961 before he called it a career. Card number 209 belongs to Lenny Green of the Baltimore Orioles. This was the 3rd MLB season for Green. While never a star, Green played mostly center field and a bit at the corners for 12 MLB seasons. He played for the Orioles, the Senators, and subsequently the Twins after their move, the Angels, Red Sox, and Tigers. Green's best seasons came in the early 1960s with the Twins franchise. He hit .294 in 1960, and in 1962 he hit 14 homers in 158 games. In Boston, he played center field for a time in an outfield alongside franchise legends Carl Yastrzemski, and Tony Conigliaro. Green finished his career with his hometown Tigers and appeared briefly for the MLB team in 1968. However, he did not play in the World Series that year. After his career, Green worked for the Ford Motor Company. That's going to do it for this edition of 59 Topps Friday on Wax Pack Wisdom. Do you have a story about one of the people, players, or teams we discussed today? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our Wax Pack Wisdom content. In the video description, you will find our source material for this episode, links to where you can follow us on all social media channels, as well as a list of our favorite nonprofits and charities. Please consider a donation to one of them if you enjoyed this content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Wax Pack Wisdom. Take care.